Roland Garros is Rafael Nadal's playground.
Well, as everybody knows, it's the most important place in my tennis career.
For Roger Federer, it is the site of some of his most bitter disappointments.
If you want to do or achieve something on the clay, inevitably at some stage you will go through Rafa, because he's that strong and he will be there.
In Paris in 2006, for the first time in their careers, the pair went toe-to-toe in a Grand Slam final. It was the dawning of a new era in tennis, one that would elevate the sport to its greatest heights. Nadal, the most successful clay courter in history, has dominated the French Open since he debuted in 2005. He won La Coupe des Mousquetaires on his first attempt, and on 12 further occasions in his next 15 visits. Federer's success was less immediate. He first took the court in Paris's 16th arrondissement in 1999, but he fell in the first round, as he would do on 2 further occasions in the following 4 years. It wasn't until 2005 that he began to show the kind of form that had earned him 4 Grand Slam titles to that point. But in the semi-finals that year, he stumbled upon a Mallorcan prodigy celebrating his 19th birthday in style. Wearing what would become his trademark sleeveless top and capri shorts, Nadal won in 4 sets on his way to that maiden title, indicating Federer's time at the summit of tennis would not go unchallenged. It was the first meeting between the 2 great champions in a major tournament. It would not be the last. In total, Federer and Nadal faced each other 14 times in Grand Slams between 2005 and 2019, 9 of those in finals.
We shared the most important moments of our careers together on court, facing each other.
From those early contests grew a rivalry that transcended tennis. The balletic Swiss with the single-handed backhand, and the rugged Spaniard with unimaginable power. The contrast in style and temperament elevated the sport in a manner not seen since John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg duelled in the early 1980s. In 2006, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal entered the French Open as the top 2 seeds for the first time. Between them, they dropped just 3 sets en route to an inevitable decider, their first in a Grand Slam. 25-year-old Federer was the world number 1. He had won 4 of the opening 5 tournaments of the year, including the Australian Open. He had only suffered 3 defeats, but they had all come at the hands of Nadal. Indeed, in just 6 matches head-to-head to that point, Federer had won just 1, a hard-court 5-setter in the final of the 2005 Miami Masters. The Spaniard, ranked 2nd, hit his straps when the tour reached European clay. Titles in Monte Carlo, Barcelona and Rome saw him equal Bjorn Borg's tally of 16 ATP titles as a teenager, and break Guillermo Vilas's 29-year record of consecutive clay court match victories. The stage was set for a classic Grand Slam decider. Federer had won all 7 of his previous major tournament finals, and victory in Paris would see him become the first man since Rod Laver to hold all 4 Grand Slam titles at the same time. Nadal's mastery of clay was well established, but the legend of years to follow had yet to blossom. Federer was not unfancied, and his confidence grew during an opening set that he blitzed 6-1, demonstrating the clay court skills often downplayed due to his brilliance on grass and hard courts.
Even now, he has an amazing career, win-loss on clay, and I think he also feels comfortable on the surface. He grew up on it as well, for sure, in Switzerland, so he knows how to move and everything. So Doesn't matter where or which tournaments he plays, he will always be one of the favorites.
But Nadal was no pushover, as he would prove countless times throughout his career, claiming the next 2 sets comfortably. He served for the match in the 4th set, but Federer broke to force a tiebreak. It was to no avail. The young Tyro held his nerve, taking the tiebreak 7-4, sinking to his knees, then bathing in the red clay. 1-6, 6-1, 6-4, 7-6. A trademark fighting performance and a sign of things to come.
I always played with high intensity, big passion for this sport. And big passion for the competition too, you know. So and all the things that I went through probably give me that extra passion when I am playing, because I know I will not be here forever.
There's nobody who even plays remotely close to him, you know, so I don't even know who I need to go search for to go practice with somebody who plays like him. I was thinking that during the match. It's just amazing how he plays from deep and then he's able to bounce back and forth from the baseline.
Federer has yet to find the practice partner to help him unravel the enigma. 6 times they have faced each other in Paris. 6 times Nadal has come out on top. On clay, the total reads 14 wins to Nadal, just 2 to Federer. In the Open era, no one has won a tour event more times than Nadal has won the French Open. Federer has 2 pet events in Halle and Basel, but neither are majors. Novak Djokovic has 9 Australian Open titles and counting, but that is still some way behind Nadal's haul.
I think it's pretty remarkable what he's done in his career, and I think when you get to a certain point and, you know, those numbers, I mean, there are a lot of people that can be considered greatest of all time, right?
Not only has Nadal obliterated the record books at Roland Garros, he has done so during the careers of 2 of the greatest players to ever hold a racket in Djokovic and Federer. The trio are far and away the leading slam winners in history. But Federer and Djokovic's combined total show how tough they have found the French clay. Time and again, these relentless winners found a Spanish bull blocking their path. Only 2 men have defeated Nadal at Roland Garros between 2005 and 2020. Djokovic in 2015 comes as little surprise. The other, Sweden's Robin Soderling back in 2009.
I think it's one thing to beat Rafa on clay, but I think it's another thing to beat him on clay in best of 5 sets, which is yeah, almost impossible. And I think that says maybe more about him than about myself.
Soderling's reward for upsetting Nadal was a final date with Federer, which he lost, handing the Swiss the only Coupe des Mousquetaires of his career.
I was angry with myself that I lost, but I was actually happy for him because he's the player that really deserves it. He's maybe the best players of all time, and he really deserves to win all the Grand Slams.
The following year, Nadal exacted his revenge, racing beyond Soderling in straight sets in a one-sided final, before he returned in 2011 to continue his ascendancy over Federer on the red dirt and further fuel the debate about which of the pair will go down as the greatest of all time.
Of course, we push each other, but I lost, I think, around 15 or even more Grand Slams in my career for injuries. So, it's difficult. But being honest, I never complain myself much, and I never tried to think about, wow, I'm gonna catch Roger or not. Honestly, I am not very worried about this stuff. No, you can't be frustrated all the time because the neighbor has a bigger house than you, or a bigger TV, or better garden.
Well, Rafa has such a big impact in my sporting career, because when I came onto the stage, I was trying to find my way to world #1. Later on, He finally arrived, in a big way, because he was one of the best teenagers of all time besides Bjorn Borg. So in the beginning, you try to fight it off until you really realize, well, he's a legitimate rival, and he's better than me, on clay. And it's one thing you have to really dig deep to find, solutions. And to that, I'm forever thankful to Rafa. He definitely made me a better player.
Undeniably the greatest clay court player of all time, against arguably the greatest all-round tennis player the game has ever seen. A rivalry to reverberate through the ages. And it began here with one triumphant flashpoint in sporting history.
Thanks for watching. For more great content on all the major stories in world sport, make sure you hit the subscribe button.